Welcome to Headlines, where this week we'll wrap up the whole year for you in a few minutes. Between January and March this year, we probably realized that 2020 was going to be the worst year of our lives. As we sipped on cocktails, well, mocktails in our case, and watched the clock strike 12 to ring in the new year, Trump was buried up in his Oval Office planning the assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, who would die 3 days later. Don't remember him? Maybe you remember all the World War III memes. Mid-January saw massive bushfires that could be seen from space rage across Australia, killing wildlife, obliterating nature, and forcing cute koalas onto roads to beg for water. Basketball great Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash. And also in January, we started to get reports about a new illness in Wuhan, China. We all know how that worked out. In February, Britain officially exited the EU, but the details of the economic package are still pending. The bigger and most surprising exit was Meghan Markle and Prince Harry deciding to quit being royals and moving to the US. In March, the International Olympics Committee and Japan agreed to postpone the Olympic Games due to start in summer because of Covid-19. By April, we had basically already given up on 2020. Covid-19 hit us hard, and all of our New Year resolutions of going to the gym every single day and keeping fit went poof as we were holed up in our homes for quarantine. At the beginning of April, countries began taking severe measures to deal with the coronavirus. For instance, US states went into shutdown, and the Indian government abruptly declared a 3-week lockdown in the first week of April. US presidential favourite Bernie Sanders didn't really feel the burn in May, dropping out of the elections and leaving Joe Biden as the Dems' final candidate. Here in Hong Kong, China drafted the controversial National Security Law that was aimed at addressing treason, secession, sedition, and subversion in Hong Kong. It gave Beijing the ability to send its own officials into Hong Kong to address anything they deemed treason, secession, sedition, or subversion. And in June, the University of California system, which includes some of the USA's most prestigious schools, including UC Berkeley and UCLA, announced that they plan to discontinue the use of SAT and ACT scores for admissions. Despite the start of summer break here in Hong Kong, it seems the world couldn't catch a break from COVID itself when July came around. To make matters worse, on July 6th, CNN reported a suspected case of the bubonic plague all the way in Mongolia. On July 20th, Britain announced that as a result of Hong Kong's controversial new security law, it was suspending its extradition treaty with the city. In August, Spain's former king, Juan Carlos, left the country after severe criticism over his financial mishandlings. I guess he must have picked up a knack for writing emails very similar to those by his brother from another mother, the Nigerian prince, since I found an email in my inbox with Juan Carlos offering me €1 million. Gracias, amigo. On August 28th, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe resigned due to health concerns and was replaced by Yoshihide Suga. The US presidential and vice presidential debates took place, where the most exciting thing that happened was a fly landing on the head of Vice President Mike Pence, spawning infinite memes across social media. As the last quarter of the year started, we realized that things weren't going to get better anytime soon and couldn't wait for 2021. Poland decided to ban all abortions, a step back in human rights and the cause of weeks-long street protests. In France, teacher Samuel Paty was beheaded after angry Muslim parents called for his death when he showed cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad in class. But then, a few glimmers of hope. In Italy, a teenager took one step nearer to becoming a saint. Carlo Acutis, who died of leukemia in 2006, aged 15, has already been named the patron saint of the internet. He went through a beatification ceremony after Rome agreed that he had performed a miracle. He needs one more to make full saint. In November, Pfizer announced that early results of its candidate COVID vaccine had shown promising results. A Dutch train diver defied death and gravity when his runaway train was stopped by a sculpture of a whale tail. In New Zealand, the world's nicest leader, Jacinda Arden, won the elections by a landslide. The Nobel Prizes went ahead, with the Peace Prize going to the World Food Programme. In November, the world anxiously watched the US elections play out as Biden eventually proved to be the winner. This didn't really stop Trump going on a campaign to call the result into question. Argentinian football legend Diego Maradona, known as the Hand of God, died at the age of 60. His death opened up that age-old question. So, who is the greatest football player in the world? On the bright side, the year is coming to a close with a glimmer of hope on the COVID front. Russia became the first Western nation to begin mass vaccinations against COVID on December 5th, but no one would have noticed because the world was focused on Britain inoculating Margaret Keenan, 90 years old, a few days later with the Western-approved Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. Once that first shot had been given, other nations around the world began making plans to roll out vaccines. Although the war is far from over, this is the first year I've seen some kids wish for an injection for Christmas instead of a new gaming console. That's all we have time for. If you've liked headlines, hit the subscribe button below and the bell to be notified when we have a new video. We'll see you again after the holidays.